This next section is support rebuttal. You'll have 3 minutes for this section. Your time starts now.
Okay. So first, I would like to go against our opponent's first contention about how it is immoral and how you should use iPSCs. So first about the immoral section, the New England Journal of Medicine actually states that embryos are not human, just like acorns are not trees, and that eggs are not chickens. It also argues that excess fertilized eggs from in vitro fertilization should not be discarded if people were so concerned about using embryos for research, which is one of their main concerns about how we're using how we're supposed to get these embryos. Next, I'm going to talk about how iPSCs are not as effective as embryonic stem cells. So Johns Hopkins Medicine in June 28, 2017 states that stem cell biologist Robert Lanza compared differentiated cells derived from a series of iPS cell lines and ES cell lines. While both classes of cells differentiated, the iPS cells did so at a significantly lower rate and higher rates of cell death. Another study raises questions about whether iPS cells can actually serve as tools for modeling diseases. Next, when they talked about the side effects and how it could lead to tumors and things, I would assume that these tumors, they mean something like cancer. So for the American Cancer Society in May 11th of 2016 states that stem cell transplants are used to replace bone marrow that has been destroyed by cancer or destroyed by the chemo and/or radiation used to treat the cancer. In some cancers, such as leukemia, multiple myeloma, and some lymphomas, a stem cell transplant can actually be an important part of the treatment.
All right, I will address the economic issue brought up by the opponent. So, research, as we all know, is always costly no matter what field the research is done in. So some may argue that there is little in return for all of the spending, and this is therefore a waste of resources. However, research does create many jobs, and according to the Maryland Stem Cell Research Fund, about 2 years of investments by them, about 500 jobs were created, and there was an increase in tax revenue by $2.7 million, as well as a positive indirect economic impact of about $71 million. And I'm quoting Alan Goodman here. He says, if stem cell research had just a 1% impact on 50,000 biotech jobs in just Michigan, that would translate into 797 additional jobs and 51 million in increased payroll. Also, we all know that the macroeconomic goal, one of them, is to maximize economic growth. The projected market for regenerative medicine in 2020 is $500 billion. Also, I would like to address the fact that in 2014, Sonia Alea, her eyesight was improved through this treatment.
Opponents would think that it's immoral to kill an embryo just to benefit other people. Let's reverse that. It's immoral to kill millions of people who may be saved by the embryo research instead.
Okay, we need to clarify that. The word human here is not the biology, but more.
Time is up. Thank you. Alright. This next section will last 3 minutes. It is the opposed rebuttal. You may now begin.
Before I dive into any of my opponent's arguments, I would like to say that our standard of ethics should be used to judge today's debate because society is nothing without ethics, and killing humans should not be used to achieve the pinnacle of society. Also, when you mentioned that you used hopkinsmedicine.org, according to the site, they have not tested embryonic stem cells. They tested human neural stem cells, which after further research are actually adult stem cells. This contention should be dropped from the debate because it has nothing to do with embryonic stem cells.
Also, when you brought up the fact in your class that induced pluripotent stem cells are the same thing as embryonic stem cells, that is not true because induced pluripotent stem cells have all the benefits as embryonic stem cells without any of the consequences. Induced pluripotent stem cells have a less chance of rejection due to the fact that the stem cells come from the donor itself, which also eliminates the ethical dilemma of consent since the donor is letting them use their own stem cells. Also, it deletes the side effects of embryonic stem cells since embryonic stem cells can cause bleeding or inflammation of lung tissues and has a success rate of 1 to 3% on mice according to BBC. And also, induced pluripotent stem cells are way less expensive than embryonic stem cells. According to Yale, induced pluripotent stem cells only cost around $2,700, while embryonic stem cells cost $100,000 to $200,000 for only 50 to 100 embryonic stem cells. Thank you.
While you all give these
was successfully tested, we gave evidence supporting that 6 mice were bred and they were all killed, bred with using embryonic stem cells. Plus, you also gave the example of saying that chemotherapy, stem cells were used and it was treated and it was fixed. Well, in London 2004, doctors at Great Ormond Street, a renowned hospital, they found that 4 children had died after being given stem cells to cure this, the bone marrow. And they all died because of the stem cells.
So in your third contention, you meant that embryonic stem cells research actually improves the economy and gives more jobs. But do jobs really matter when other people are dying? There are also many ethical and political controversies. Not only that, but it poses a moral dilemma. According to www.eurostemcell.org, it forces us to choose between 2 principles: the duty to prevent or alleviate suffering and the duty to respect human life. In the case of embryonic stem cell research, it is impossible to obey both moral principles. Also, for the third contention, you did not mention evidence for the economic.
Okay. This next section you will be given 1 minute to prep. Your time starts now.